and welcome back to my channel. So today I have another Sims 4 speed build for you, and this one is actually a community lot. I don't do a whole ton of those, but I don't know why, I just felt like, I could use a community lot. And I feel like it's really nice and important to have those in the game so you actually have somewhere to take your Sims and something to do. And this one I actually decided to do a neighborhood pool. And I don't know if it's because it was summer and I was like inspired by just wanting to go swimming. So I was like, that would be something great to have. And then also that way your Sims don't have to have one on their lot and have to deal with that. And you don't have to worry about them drowning all the time. Because Sims do that. They just decide, I'm gonna go get in the pool, and then the next thing you know, the camera like cuts to them and they're drowning. So to avoid that, you can just come here instead. So for this lot, I wanted this really nice like entrance space. So we have like a little parking lot. And then I actually used one of the signs that came with the new high school years pack. And I used those colors and items as inspiration for the decor for this build. And so you can see here I'm using that sign and the fencing as well. And I tried to pull in all those colors around here as well. I figured the blue and yellow is like a really fun summer swimming color palette. So I just kind of went with that, and that's what we use all over this build. And I added a bunch of like water features in the front here because I wanted it to be like really fun and exciting and like, ooh, look, it's a pool, water. And so you will see that later on in the screenshots. I do have some shots of all of the different fountains going, and I did have to experiment. I kind of wish those like fountain pieces would actually work in build mode, because you don't actually know what it's going to look like until you're in live mode. So I did have to like pop over to live mode and experiment. And you can see here I was doing a little bit of that here to see what actually it was going to look like, because I did use some of them and I was like, this looks really weird, or this wasn't enough, or this wasn't exactly what I was going for. Like you know what they're generally going to look like, but it's like, is it really going to fit and do what I want? And then I figured it would be kind of nice to actually use like a community board. So I found these like couple, and I actually ended up keeping that bigger one over in the corner because I thought that might be nice, since this is like a social community space that like maybe people post stuff there and like you can communicate with other people that way, or events that are going on. I just felt like that was very fitting. And then I also decided that I wanted to put like a clubhouse, like with bathrooms, lockers, like vending machines, and actually like just like a fun area to hang out in. Now, I will say, to be honest, when I was building this, I got to this point, I built this structure, and then I was kind of like stuck. I didn't know exactly what was wrong, but I wasn't super happy with it. Like, I just felt like it wasn't quite right. So I did end up actually taking a break, coming back to the build, and then editing this building some more, which I was much happier with the edits that I made to it. I made it a little bit smaller, and I felt like it made more sense for this lot. And I think that was kind of the issue. It's just kind of so big that it was overwhelming. And I think I started with like taller wall heights, and I think it just kind of, I don't know, it didn't fit. And I actually had to do this in 3 different sessions. And oh my goodness. So fun fact about this build, during the 3rd session, so almost at the very end, like I'm not joking, I literally, all I had to do was I was putting a couple things on some tables and then swapping like some little end tables out, and then I was done. My game crashed. It just stopped. It quit. It said no thank you, and literally out of nowhere, screen went black, and that was it. Luckily, I was actually doing this with my mom, and I did the first part and the 3rd part with her. The middle part I didn't, but the 3rd part, when we were working on this, she randomly was like, you know what, I think we should like pause and like save it. And I did, and thank goodness I did, because like not even a minute later did the game just quit. So luckily, the only thing I lost was placing those things on a table and swapping out some little like end tables. So that saved me actually a lot. So as a reminder, when you're playing or doing anything on a computer, save often, save all of the time. And I'm so bad about it. Like I'm very, very bad about it. And so I'm really glad she reminded me to do that so I didn't lose like everything. So anyways, so just fun fact, at the end of the build, near the end of the build, randomly, I left it in there. You'll see the screen goes black for a split second, and just know that that was my game just quitting. And then I redid what I had just done. But I just thought I would leave it in there because it's just kind of fun. Like, it happens. Like, that's just what happens when you're playing games. Like, things will just kind of do whatever it wants to do. And here I'm just actually trying to decide what did I want the layout to be on the outside of this build, right? Since it was a pool, obviously that's really important to have a nice like landscape and like something that's nice and planned out. So I decided that I wanted a pool, but I also wanted like a nice entranceway, and I wanted like a kids area because I'm thinking, you know, if you're gonna bring your whole Sims family here, I wanted there to be stuff for your whole family to do, because I hate taking the family there and then it's like, oh, well, like, there's not necessarily stuff to do for kids, that kind of thing. Or if you feel like, you know, maybe one of your Sims like doesn't like swimming, you know, like they can have different personalities and do different things on this lot. And so this is actually like the clubhouse area that your Sims can utilize. This top floor is actually going to be the like hangout space, and then the bottom floor is where like the locker room, bathrooms are. And I just decided that lockers made sense to me because at least like community pools that I've been to before, like neighborhood pools, like you could like rent a locker so you could like store your stuff in there. I've also seen that like at amusement parks and things like that, so that you can like leave your stuff safely in a locker and not have to worry about it while you're there. You could use this too if you like wanted to have like maybe a swim team, and you think about maybe this is where they actually practice, and so maybe that's their lockers because they're there very often. And I added some vending machines in here so that your Sims have like a way to get some food and drinks and things like that while they're here. They can get some snacks and hang out. So I put several tables here as well outside, and then just adding in some like under the water artwork. So I pulled a bunch of them out and just left them there, and then decided later exactly what I wanted to do with them upstairs, because I wasn't super sure yet what I actually wanted to do up there. I just knew I wanted it to be a cool place to hang out and just a bunch of fun activities for your Sims to take part in. And then for this bathroom, originally I had it split, like I wanted like the toilets in one space and showers in another. And if you don't know, in The Sims, if you actually flag this as a pool lot, which I did, it's like required that you have showers and bathrooms and things like that. But I decided that I wanted to use those stalls, but they are so big. Like, they are huge. I love that item, but they're big, big, big. So I decided to just make it like one big bathroom and just put the showers and toilets and everything in the same space. And those showers, I think those showers, I want to say, are from like the university pack, and like they're built so that like your Sims don't get like embarrassed and stuff like that if, you know, they're using it. And so I just kept that space pretty simple, but your Sims can easily kind of do whatever they need to do on the lot and keep their needs up. And then upstairs, I do actually add in a fish tank, which I thought was really fun. I do take one of those out. Like I said, I was putting stuff up here because I wasn't exactly sure. And I end up putting the like Don't Wake the Llama darts. I have the foosball table. I did the gaming pad or whatever it's called. And just a nice like couch seating area. And again, I tried to pull items from the new pack, especially because I'd started this build a lot closer to when the pack came out. Like I said, I had to do this in like 3 different sittings, and I'm not sure why it took me so long to do this build. I guess I just wasn't like feeling super inspired to do the pool, but I am really happy with the way it came out. And actually taking the screenshots of this build was definitely an interesting experience, because since it is a community lot and it's flagged that way, random Sims just come to the lot. Usually I put Sims in a household, and so I can control them and tell them what to do, so I can get all the really cool screenshots, and at least I think they're cool, but all the different screenshots that I want. But if you have random Sims on the lot, those Sims just do whatever they want. They just like ignore you and just do things because they're Sims. So the screenshots I think for this are a little more chaotic, and what I actually ended up doing was, so recently I had a like traditional family mansion build that went up. Highly recommend if you haven't seen it, and it is in 2 parts if you wanted to check it out. But the family I used for those screenshots, I actually used that family and brought them to this lot. And the reason I kind of did that was because, well, I already had the family like ready to go, but they had like 2 teenagers and 2 kids and like 2 parents. So there was a lot of Sims to work with in terms of like having them do different things and interact with the space differently. So I used them, but like I said, there were so many random Sims like just walking around. Like I had them grill, and all of a sudden there was just a bunch of people sitting at the table. And I do actually end up adding a grill in this space as well. And I figured that would be nice. Like maybe it's this space that you could like rent and have like a birthday party here, you know, like have like a swimming party, grill out, like, and I just felt like that would be a lot of fun. And I feel like I've seen that kind of thing before in like different community spaces where you can rent that out. And then I kind of made that community board kind of like a centerpiece when you walk in, so you can check out the things that are coming up, events, post things if you want to, that kind of thing. And then just putting in some of those flowers from the front there. And I didn't continue the flowers all the way around the build because they stuck into the build. And so I kind of left those out, but I do end up putting in some nice umbrella covered tables because that grass area that you see there, I actually use that as like a kid space and put in like a jungle gym and all that kind of stuff, and like 2 little kiddie pools. And so we'll get to that in a little bit. So I put some loungers out here, again with some umbrellas, so your Sims can relax and nap and hang out. And so those tables, quote tables, I put there between them, those are actually stools. So I figured that out later. So I had to swap those out for actual tables, which is around the time when the game just like quit on me. So I do swap those out later, but I found this really cute like awning pergola thing, and which I thought would be a really nice space to have like a large table, a big gathering space, and like your Sims can come and grill and hang out and eat together. And I felt like that would be like a lot of fun. And then I do end up putting in like a decal in the bottom of the pool, and then a couple of floats and like a little sprinkler thing. And over here in this corner, actually, like I end up putting these little fountains because I thought that would be super adorable. I don't know if you've ever seen those where they like the water comes out of the ground and like you can go and play in it and stuff. Like that's what I was thinking of. So I just kind of put that cute space in there thinking like kids could do it. Your Sims don't quite interact with it that way, but that's what I was going for. And then I just put in a little like sandbox with some like a water balloon bucket and some toys, and then 2 different kiddie pools and like a bench. I figured parents would want to watch their kids play and things like that. So just wanting to include a bunch of stuff for your Sims to be able to do while they're on this lot. And then just finishing some of this up, and I think pretty soon we're going to get that black screen, but don't worry, I do end up fixing it. But I'm hoping you're enjoying this build. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And of course, as usual, if you have any ideas, comments, suggestions, any of that kind of good stuff, be sure to leave those down below. I would love to read through those. And I hope you have a really sweet day. Bye, everybody.